Do, 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 do. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday stream. As usual, I will start with posting the stream on my Discord server. In this channel, I have that. Yet. Then we do some adjustments. I'm always like adjusting my microphone. Is it in a good spot? And it's like, you know, you sink down while you're doing stuff, and eventually there's like a microphone in front of my face and stuff like that. Let's see. Can write something funny here even. It's the Tuesday stream. And I guess in English you put a big T on Tuesday. I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. I don't need to. That's one of the nice things about having this proper mic setup. Before I always used the headphones with, what's it called? Microphone on it. So I had to have my headset on all the time. But now I have, no, wait, it's gonna go sound like, I have a old sock I cut off the top, a clean sock I cut off the top and put on my microphone. It's my pop filter. Very high tech. Alrighty. So I'm gonna do some more mic adjustments, I think. I just have this feeling that I'm gonna be annoyed by it. I think that's good. So what we are gonna do today is I'm gonna check the audio volume here. It looks good. It looks good. You see, this thing should never go into red, but you also don't want it to be too low. So all that stuff. Yeah. So let me show you some stuff. So last week I worked a lot on, I was gonna post a playable build on my Discord server for people to playtest and stuff. So I spent a lot of time just making sure everything worked, because I had essentially ripped out my whole, what's it called, like entity system, or whatever you want to call it. And just had to make sure a lot of things that used to work, that no longer worked again. So that was fun. And yeah, so I was thinking maybe I should spend like, you know, maybe 2 weeks on making a new playable version at a time, sort of, you know, have like I'm trying to finish this game so that it's done by January sometime. And currently I have, well, I can run around a bit in the game and show as usual. I have these NPCs you can talk to, and run around with your cat and stuff. I put some, I think there might be some audio now. We'll see. Yeah, there's some footstep sounds. I just put that in today. I don't know if it's audible on the stream, or if the stream even picks up. Let me see. Can I see? Yes, it does. It does pick up the game sound. And then there's a silly placeholder meow meow when you jump. It's just me making noise. So that's what I've been doing today. But I like actually I added the footsteps, which you might be able to hear. And footsteps is one of those things that it's annoyingly hard to make, because either your footsteps will be too quiet so no one hears them, or they'll be too annoying so that when you have them constantly in the background, you will get tired of them. You know, games with bad footstep sounds is the worst. And then you know, you have trouble like actually getting it to be like, it's also nice if the footstep sounds are like, it's just this slight little, it's like this slight little crunchy sound in the background when you walk around. without it getting like annoying you. So this is funny. This you can hear it. This footstep sound here. That's me. Where is it? I have had a somewhere here. I made it by, it's a classic thing. I lost the piece of, this. So I had this piece of paper and I held it up to the microphone and I did this. I might not hear it on this one because of noise cancellation, but essentially me like flopping around a piece of paper very close to the microphone, and then you get this kind of funny sounds. A funny thing about video game sounds is that people often try to, like naively, they try to, like say that you want rain in your game, the sound of rain, and then they go out and like try to record rain, but it doesn't record properly because the way you hear something and the way a microphone picks something up, it's actually not the same. And it might not even be like in a video game that it needs to be slightly different from what you actually hear in real life. So one funny version I've heard that when people want to record rain sounds is that they instead like take a frying pan of oil where they're like frying bacon or something, and then they hold the microphone quite close to it, and you know that kind of psh sound that you would get when you fry something. When you play that up, it's like, oh, it actually sounds a bit like rain when you don't have the context, and it's easier to record that than to record actual rain quite often. Hello, Guillermo, which says that they could not try the demo since they use Linux. Yeah, I know, it's only Windows. There was someone who successfully played it using Proton. I don't know if everyone has that, or last time I used Linux, people use Wine, and I think Proton is like an evolution of Wine, but that should work. But I'll try to make a Linux version for the next time I do a build. I just need to essentially install a Linux machine and build a game, because it shouldn't be that much, because it uses Raylib. Raylib is cross-platform. I think I might do a few Windows things at some places, but that it shouldn't take like, should take like an hour maybe to fix. Yeah. So the build that I put up, it's this first level here, and then it's also the second level, which I can teleport to by pressing this button. It was also in this level here, and what I sort of want to do the coming 2 weeks, because that's what I want to do. I want to maybe make a build every 2 weeks or something. This coming week, I want to, the coming 2 weeks, I want to try to just put in like white box essentially the rest of the game. It's supposed to be a short game, like maybe you can complete it in half an hour or something. So I want to white box up the rest because I have quite a clear idea of how to do that now. So that's what I'm gonna do, try to do some white boxing and add in some game logic today, essentially. So I need some way to continue. Oh yeah, here's my tower of crap. Let's remove this. My tower of crap. Does that select the... No, good, it did not. I was thinking if I hide these selection boxes and select, does it still select them? That could be a classic bug when you implement your editors yourself. That like, oh, it just doesn't draw them, but actually the selection still selects them, but it doesn't. That's good. Anyways, so I want to just white box the rest of the game, and what white boxing essentially means, even though you don't have the final graphics, just try to put in the game roughly as you think it would be, so you can play things hopefully like within a few days I can, or like until the end of next week at least, try to make it so I have the game playable from start to finish or something. So this is as far as the game goes currently, roughly. Adjusting my mic here a bit, like I always do. Before this, you could go inside this oak here. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that anymore because I've rethought that part a bit, how it's gonna work. So what's gonna happen here is that you're gonna walk into a trigger, then your friend the rocket is gonna come flying, and then you're together gonna fly up to the top of the oak tree here. And from there I have some other ideas for what happens at the top of the oak tree where you get your acorn. So this game is essentially about your friend the squirrel's tree is cut down and you need to fetch an acorn from another seemingly planet or something. And eventually you get there. So now I'm here to I'm in this other place and I need to fetch an acorn from here. So you're gonna fly with the rocket up here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And I've already put in a trigger here. And this trigger, I'm gonna give it a name. Game trigger. We can reuse this demo end. It's not used anymore, this enum. This is what's this called? This is for triggering one thing I wonder is why don't I have triggers that just send an event and then destroy themselves? I used to have this name that I use sort of like an event. So I should probably, maybe I will fix that now. So I have triggers that where you can, because I have an event system where I can make events and all that. And that's better because currently my trigger names feels a bit like events. I just check if you're in this trigger with this name. I check from the gameplay code. So I will do that first. What's it called? Trigger. Target. Entity. Okay. Event. So I can do that. Then I can go to the serializer. Then I need to. So I add a field so you can say this event should happen. So I add this to my trigger. I think it's here. Yes. Like this. And then we need to go to editor file and make sure you can fill that field in. Destroy on trigger somewhere here maybe. It's just like an enum. So we can steal this code from here. And then event. Let's do like that maybe. Oh yeah, event is not an enum anymore. It's more of a union. Do I have like an event somewhere here? No, okay. I steal this code, I think. I don't have any good code for making drop-downs of unions. Because what is required state? Aha. Don't I do this somewhere? Yes, this code I want. I want this code. Here. Like that. So this is essentially some code that grabs a bunch of type names and types where it's different. So show this event. Event is a union, so it can be any of these ones. And what this one does, it gets the type name for all these and then also the type itself. So it can use a drop down to choose which event the trigger should trigger here. So we do something like that and we just fetch the event union and then we go over all the variants of it. And then we append those to the type name and types lists here. And then, let's see, what's AU here? Ah, okay. Something like this, v.end. I think that should work. This is still here. What did I remove before then? Nothing is the answer. Okay, that's good then. So there you go. There's the event list now. And maybe destroy. Oh, I'm. My indentation is a bit crazy here. Like that. Got put this code below, so the destroy on trigger thing is down here. Now I can choose an event. For the event, I want the event to be sort of like, I want this rocket that's down here to sort of come flying on a spline like this and land here when I step into this trigger. That's gonna make first. Do I have a fly to bookshelf? Yeah, these are very specific events. Is this even used? Okay, I'm gonna make an event called event and animate along a spline. Like that, and it's gonna be an entity handle, and then it's gonna be a spline. There's also an entity handle. Those two things. I'm gonna put them in here. I'm gonna get some compilation error. We need to implement the thing like that. And then let's find, how do I make a spline evaluator? Like this I want to do. So a spline evaluate, oh, wait. Add entity. Yes. This. So on my animate along a spline, I have a v.entity, and let's see here on the spline evaluator. Yeah, this one just wants 2 entities. Or more, does time on done. It should. I should also make it so that I can do that later. It would be cool if the spline, when a spline finishes, so I have some other old splines down here. Like this one, when it finishes and the thing has reached the end, it sends a new event. So then I can sort of have this events leading to each other in a nice way. I should do that, but I can do that afterwards. So I'll start with one thing at a time. That's important. So you don't, when you do many things at a time, then nothing, you never get anywhere because you're fixing 5 problems at the same time. So now I just try to make it so that on triggers I can say this event, and then I make it so I can edit the actual event data, so I can set this target and this spline. So we go up here. And then we look at this one, event. Aha, I have broken something. It's just that. Right, there we go. Now I can choose animate along spline here. The only thing I'm missing now is the data for this event. So I want it to be just below here. It shows me like these two fields. Okay. Can I do that easily somehow? I'll just do something like this. E is e.event, and then we say switch event variant in E. This one will probably say all these things. Because I don't think I have a way to edit event data from the editor yet. So there's no, there's no way to edit. I haven't made editors, property editors for these things. But I just make a partial switch here because otherwise it forces me to implement all of these right now. But I just want to do this one. But I could make a function that just draws the property panel for the event data for all this stuff. And so I can call it here, and then you can choose any event and you just draw stuff. But let's do this event animate along spline, and then we just enter this an entity picker. Entity picker. Here you go. I think this should work. 2 entity pickers because there's. I realize I usually have my text a bit bigger. I like it when if someone does come to the stream on their like smartphone or something, it's actually usually watchable if you have it in landscape mode. So that's often why I have a bit bigger text, and also so yeah, it's just easier to watch in a small window. But I'm actually known for people often come over to when I've had on previous jobs, people come over to my computer and they look at it and like, why is your text so big? I always like have very big editor text. They're like, do you problem with your eyes? Obviously, I'm wearing glasses. But I don't know. I just like big text. There's the entity, and here's the spline. The spline. So we choose the entity and the spline. Another big question is, this one. This is the thing that implements the serialization of events, and it's not even implemented correctly. So currently, there's a lot of events missing here. All these, but many of them are empty, so we don't need to do anything here. If you look at these structs over here, most of them are empty, which in Odin unions, I mean, you can use unions a bit as a combination of C-style union and enum. So when you only have them like this, it in many ways works like an enum because it's just empty structs, and then I can add data inside them. So, but I can still easily sort of switch on them and compare to the type name, but then also access the data inside. But let's see here, and get item type, serialize field, get item. So we put in that. Angry door. These I don't need to implement. These are very internal things. Like one-off events. But this one I want to implement. spline. Spline. Let's see. Okay, so now that's implemented. This one is complaining about something. A dot. No, it should be like V dot. Trigger has no field entity. Oh, it's EV. Add a little ampersand in front here so I can modify this value. This makes it so that there's a reference to the. So what this thing does is it check. I don't know why I took out the E here. I can do like this. So for this is the what I'm currently editing in the editor, which is a trigger, and on the trigger we now have an trigger. On the trigger there's an event, which is this one. This one, and then it switches on that. So that means that it switches on what variant does it currently have. So then we have event, can be any of these, right? So then you have switches, but I will put partially in front so it doesn't enforce me to implement all of them, because I don't want to do that right now. And this ampersand makes it so that I actually get a reference to that, to the current variant, so I can modify it, which I do here. Okay, let's see if that works. So now I have, you see, I can do this, and if I choose animate along spline, then I get two extra things here. Oh, it's a spline. Oh, I love a good spline. Line. Right. So now I need to make two. I already made a spline here, but that's the wrong spline. So I need to make another one. Put it here maybe. We edit the path. It's gonna come like it does. We can tweak exactly how it looks later. Oh, whoa. It's a bit too crazy. All right. We put custom rotation here so it lands face up. Custom rotation 0 degrees means face up at this point. Maybe at this point we make custom rotation -45. That's a bit of a 39. So it will be it will come flying normally, and then it from this point it will turn around, face backwards, and then land here. This is the rocket doing all this. Okay, whoops. So stop edit. Stop it. Stop editing that. Let's turn on these again. And then the entity should be the rocket. It's down here. There we go. And then the spline should be this one. We saved that. I'm just going to check so that it actually worked. Spline. Not you, not you, not you. This one maybe. Yeah, there it is. This is the event. And this is how it serializes it. So the you know, the trigger, this is the trigger. The easiest to see, but it is a trigger. And it is a trigger because the variant has tag 7, where the tag 7 means it's the number in the order of the different union variants of the trigger. And on the event, we can see the same thing. There's the event is a union, and it's a tag 11. And if we count how many things there are here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 different ones in here. And depending on if your union is supposed to have, you can also put in no nil here. And then the union can't have a nil value and stuff. So then that number might be off by 1 also, depending on if your union supports no nil or not. This is actually something I don't remember if I added this to the JSON serializer, or I think I might have added. No, did I? JSON Marshall. Huh. Oh yeah, no, it's part of my own serializer code. It outputs the tag like this. So that's not done by the, I don't use the, it's not done by the Odin JSON stuff. I do that myself in this fancy code here that does all the serializing. It will detect it's a union and write that in, so it, otherwise it doesn't know what it is. Anyways, enough about that. Where was I? Trying to do something here. We compile and see if there's an error. No? Oh yeah, I just checked if this was correctly put into the stuff. And now we go into this one. So let's see if the rocket comes flying on the spline. It did not. Oh, I know why. I know why. Because currently I just added that event stuff, and I haven't. I'm gonna do this now. Close all files. In trigger. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's just do this for now. If t.event is not nil, there's an event on the trigger. I'm just gonna do this. Send event te.event, and then also let me check in here. I think I have some code in here for destroying the thing. Like that. So I send the event and immediately destroy the trigger. Let's see if it works. No. Hello. Let's actually first check that. This didn't. I know why. I know why. Go to serialize it. Serialize entity. Serialized entity variant trigger. No, it does serialize the event. And the event itself should serialize out these things. So I should be able to, I can select that spline, save. I know why. I know why. I know why. Enable entity. This is some code that I wanted to fix at some point, actually. Because there's all this resolving of entity references. I think this. Yes. Case event animate along line. Like that. Now it will work. Yes. There's a spline there. And on this one, the rocket. Now walk into this. Fully. It is working. It's just going very slowly. And it's shaking a lot. Because it's very nervous. The reason it's going so slowly, I think, is just because the... To click edit path. Because this thing needs to be set to like 10 or something. 10 is usually a good number for the speed of a spline point. And it will, as it goes through the spline, it will interpolate these speeds between the points. So at this point, this needs to be 10. So maybe we do something like this. Ooh, tangents. Maybe we do like this custom rotation, and at this point we do like 4. So it slows down a bit at the end, otherwise it looks weird. Like that. Oh, like that. Yeah. Let's go try hitting the spline again. See if it goes flying now. That's better. Still a bit slow to me. Oh! Well, the game crashed. That's good. I have this problem where I use hot reload a lot, and hot reload makes it hard to have a debugger attached all the time. And I don't have that many crashes, except this one crash when I enter the editor. I've seen a crash, and I don't really know what it is. It's also a bit hard to investigate because of these things. Okay. I think the game itself has never ever crashed, but I have had some editor shenanigans. I should have a button for like set speed of all points. Wait, then we can do that. We can do like this. Speed. Where is it? Oh, it's in the editor. Speed. Is it you? Yes, okay. And then we'll make a funny button here, which is if GUI button use for all points. Use for all. Dangerous button. This one is like this cut property row stuff decides the rect we're gonna use to. We're gonna draw inside this rect, and this just cuts one whole line from the property editor. That's why the custom rotation has a whole line here. It's just a big button like that. Then we'll do like this for p in v.points. And then we say, speed equals p.speed. Yes, very good. And at the end we record from undo, so we can use for all. Did it happen here now? Yes, now all of them got that speed. And now this one can be 4 still. So now I can just type in the speed of 1 and click use for all, and then all the points in the same spline get that speed. That tends to take quite some time to tweak that. Okay, I walk into my trigger. Here it comes flying. Oi, oi, oi. You're turning up very early. How many pixels off is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pixels wrong. Okay, what I usually do then is I take the spline and I zoom in and I take this thing and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then it would be correct. I should have a button to visualize, like choose an entity and put it at any point, so I can just like see how it will look at that point with those settings I put with. What we'll do also is we'll increase the speed even more to 35, use for all, and then this one is still 4. Here it comes. Brum, 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 brum. It's like SpaceX. These landing boosters, but it's onion shaped. Okay, now we need some new dialogue and stuff. This little onion thing. Then we go into the dialogue editor. So I'm just making stuff here. I'm just trying to power through and make so that I'm gonna show here the you should be able to go up here. This is sort of what I mean by white boxing. It's just like I just put this tree here, it end to end, and you're supposed to go up here, and then I will put some stuff up here for the you find an acorn, and then there will be some stuff happening. But I'm not gonna make it look nice now. I will do that later. Where is the rocket? There it is. Okay. So rocket land. Okay, we need another progress check. We need to add like progress flag. Need something here. It's like that. Let me go back here. Check that one. So we check that progress flag I just made, and then we make it say something like, well, the rocket should say something maybe like, you say this is an oak tree, then the space onion rocket thingy says, indeed. Then you can say, give a few choices here maybe. You can say you can ask it, do you where the acorns are? There's a little graphics bug. How would I fix this? It's so weird. Like, what? Is it like something with a word being a bit short or something? So this box outside here. Do you know where the acorn? And then you can ask it. Actually, we'll remove that. If we ask directly. And you ask, help me. Let's fly up there. This ends the conversation. And this one should send. This one just makes this one say, sure, jump in. And then and then you send an event. That's like cat enter rocket event. Because cat enter rocket. That one. Yeah, exactly. That one does all that. That should be fine. Here it comes. Burn, burn, vad jävlar. Ah, I forget to set the progress. There's a few different things I want to do here. So. Animate along spline. First thing it's gonna do is this. It's gonna say disable entity. No, let's do like this. If so, I want to disable so I can't interact with the rocket while it's flying, so I can talk to it because it might just break everything. So we fetch that one. Say target.interactable is false. Very good. And then we go to spline evaluator. Here it is. Now we can say t.interactable. I don't know if it was interactable before or not. I must set that. Yes. Exactly. Where's the v.interactable on that? Like that. Because then target. Then you can say let's look this. This is my spline evaluator, the thing that makes something go along a spline. So we're just gonna add some state to the spline evaluator, so it goes like something like that. So now create a spline evaluator, then it sets this flag on it, which says if it was interactable before it started or not to animate along the spline. Then it sets it to not interactable, and then it adds the entity. Very good. Let's see, what now? Yes, so now should not be able to talk to it before it lands, which should be pretty obvious. Come here, come here. And now I can talk to it. Question is, can I when it? Not sure if that was a false positive or not. I wasn't standing close enough to see if it. I'm gonna make this spline a bit shorter. Move that point, maybe that point. Because it doesn't matter, because you need to have walked over here anyways. This just makes it a bit more snappy. Yeah. That works. Now we just need to set the now I just need to somehow set the progress of all this. Animate along spline, entity, blah blah blah. So I think animate along spline will have a on done event. There's an event that has an event because you want that makes it cyclic. That's true. Yeah, because how do I do that in a good way? Like, so I have an event that says, oh, this is an event animated along a spline. Then I want to have an event that fires when it's done. I thought I would just add it here so I can choose like an on done event, and then it's the same thing again. How should I do that then? Oh. I mean, I can add an event on the spline itself instead. That's like spline is done event, but it felt better to put it here. I'll put it on the spline for now. So there we go. Move that. And then we go to the serializer. We go to the spline. Entity variant. We need to look at this. How does this work now again? Sorry, I was just a bit... Oh, here it is. Oh, I was looking at the entity type variant. That's why I was so confused for a while there. Done event or something like that. Very good. So now you can click this, and there are some buttons here. There's a clear button. Just before the edit path button, I want... What's it called? What's it called? Event. Yeah. Now I'll need... Okay. One thing at a time. Now we need something like this. We need like a raw event property editor. What's this one gonna do? It's gonna take... It's gonna take this stuff, I think. Or maybe this stuff as well. You choose which event and then you choose the date for it. That sounds good. Then... so we say this. This event here. What did I do? There they are. I was like, what's going on? Remove this. Pull this in. So I'm just trying to make my event property editor move that code a bit. Something like this. Maybe. We'll see. And then it needs rect to cut from. That's the property panel rect on the side. The side here. It needs to know this rect. Let's try that. Event property. And we are taking v.event and the side panel. Send it in. Compilation errors. Okay. Yeah, so where do you get your world from? The W. Okay, I can use that. Do that like this. Camera. You need the camera? I know why. It's because of the picker for the entities. So there's a picker here. This thing can pick inside the game. You hold the pick button and then you can pick any entity inside. In order to implement this, you need to know which event entities exist in the world and where is the camera currently looking. So that's why it both wants the world and the camera and all that crap. So we will go and see where is the camera. Camera. Yeah, we can easily construct the camera actually. Because we have a global in the editor with the camera position and the zoom. So now these guys are drawing using my function instead, and hopefully everything still works. Yes. Which means I can now go, because I want an event on this spline here at the bottom. Okay, spline. Was it here I wanted it, maybe? Oh, event. Oh yeah. In a string here also, but that is label string. So you can type something interesting. So here we say, what do we say? We say s dot on done event, and then we say side panel, and then we say on done. Then we will get one more compilation error over here because we added this string. And then this one is just sad in general. It's v dot on done. That's the current variant I'm looking at. Like v will be the currently inspected spline. There you go, on done. I can choose anything here. Let's see. What do you want to happen? I want to set a progress flag. That's what I want to do. Event. This one I'm not using, so this one we can reuse. Event set progress flag. I guess it's just an old temp thing. So I'm quite happy that I'm getting more of these generic things that like, oh, animate along spline, set progress flag, instead of this funky stuff like talk to flower. Like, why is talk to flower tree? Why isn't it talk to entity, which is this one there? I think this one just, this might even be used anymore. Yeah, that's good then. Let's see if it's not that one. Talk to entity. Yeah. So we're not using this one. Then I usually put a U in front of it to mark it as unused. Because you don't want to change the order in these, because you have serialized data that use a tag, which is sort of like, you know, an enum. You don't, if you serialize enums, you don't want to, you can only put things at the end or reuse unused ones, because otherwise you're changing, those are just serialized as a number. So you can't do that. So you never ever go in and just insert something in the middle or change the order. You only add at the end or reuse those that are not used anymore. That is the law. Hello, Joachim. Joachim is a guy I know from... I used to work on a game engine called BitSquid many years ago. Joachim works at Fat Shark that makes the Warhammer games, like stuff. And they... even the latest one, the Warhammer 40k game, the first-person game, still used the old BitSquid engine. BitSquid that was acquired by Autodisk, renamed Stingray, and then abandoned. But Fat Shark keeps their own fancy branch of the engine. The engine was actually created as a collaboration with Fat Shark. Fat Shark was one of the owners of the BitSquid company, along with the founders. But yeah, hello. Fun to have you here. Joachim says he's trying some Odin. It's a nice language. It's like C, but all the things you ever got annoyed with in C are fixed, I would say. I often like felt that I was typing a lot more in C. That just took me a while to kind of get things done because it felt a bit... I tend to say it can sometimes feel a bit boilerplatey. See that you need to do stuff, lots of like stuff around your things in order to get anything going. And I think Odin lets you do exactly the same things with the same level of control without all the craft. Let's see, there was some other message here. Yeah. You can find... I'm sure it's responding to a message on Discord. There we go. So, oh yeah, it's called Warhammer. It's called Warhammer 40k Darktide, or just Darktide or something. Yeah, the Odin syntax is very clean. I think it's a bit inspired by... Is it by Pascal or something? I think it's these kind of interesting... you have this declares and initializes a variable while doing this. This just makes an int. And the nice thing is that everything is always initialized to 0. So this test will have, like in C, you would write like this. And then if you don't write like this, it's actually, now it's initialized with 0. But if you just write this, it's uninitialized. And you can just have any old value. So Odin always 0 initializes unless you do like this. There's some syntax with triple dashes to not do it if you have any performance reasons. But almost always, it's much better to just initialize to 0. Because it gives many nice benefits of just being able to assume that 0 is a nice default value. Okay, what the hell was I doing? Oh yeah, I was removing some old crap. I have Ah, no, now I see what I was doing. I was supposed to do this. Very confused. What the hell am I doing? Wait a minute. Okay, event mega zoom out. Talk to flower tree. Oh, I see. This one is just an empty struct. So I was being very confused here because I was talking and doing things at the same time. This one I can just remove because it's not even used in the union down here. I was trying to put a U in front of this one to say that, oh, this union variant is unused. Then I went down here and I set the U in front of this one, which I just made. That one shouldn't. I just removed that one. And then we're all happy. This one is a called event set progress flag, and then we must have a flag to set progress flag. And this one doesn't need to do anything like that. Set event set progress flag. This one you just need to do set progress beetle flag. That's all it needs to do. This is the implementation of when different events happen. This is what they actually do. It's just a big switch thingy. On done should now be set progress flag, and then we just need to event event property. We need to implement case event set progress flag, and the progress flag is like that, I think. So we just copied some code for drawing an enum drop down that has the progress flag label in front of it, blah blah blah. Do like that. Now it should pop up here. Bing. Yes. And the progress. Oh, this is the first time I have this problem. I can do this to get around it, but so when a drop down menu becomes too long, then it reverses it. So if a drop down menu goes, you see this one like this, I click it and then it goes down. If it hits the bottom, then it tries to put the drop down menu so it goes upwards instead, because it's thinking that, oh, I hit the bottom of the screen, because I'm using this EMGUI thingy that can't draw outside the window. It can never go outside the window currently. So this one is funny because it goes upwards because this list is so long so that it hit the bottom and try to go upwards. But if I do this, maximize it, then I have room enough. You can actually do fun stuff like this. You can see when it happens. Just do this. Get closer and closer and closer. Bam. Never had that problem before. But I often sit like this in it, or anyways. But and this list is starting to get a bit silly long, but that's the progress flag I wanted to set. Do I serialize that? No. Serialize field. Flag. So. There we go. That should now work. Now it can set that progress flag. And then it is checked in this dialog. Now all the strings come together. Blah blah blah. This guy's coming flying down. Come here, come here, come here. Hopefully it set the progress flag now. No, it might not have it. Yeah, it didn't. Because there's one more thing. It's in evaluate. Case spline evaluator here. If v dot on done flag. Let me do on done. Is that what I called it? No. Oh, on done event, of course. Event. Then we just send event. If this is not nil, then we do send event v.on done. So now there's an event on the spline that gets sent. Oh, I restarted the whole level. Go here. Jump. This goes flying. Come here. And he still says the wrong thing. Oh, it's so funny. Sometimes I compile and just tab away, and I didn't check if compiled properly or not. Read runs this. Here it comes. Yeah. Now it worked. Now this is not how it's supposed to be, because now something very silly will happen. This state it went into now will just repeat this level over and over. So what I created now is an eternal loop. So I came back to the start of the level now. It skipped the cutscene because I already seen it once, but that's not what I want. It happened. What's that? Yeah. So weird bugs sometimes. That looked like something just... I don't know what... To figure out what I did, I was like... I went into this, I can unlock my camera. And then like half the level disappeared. And then I reset it and I was back again. Okay. So now you can walk here. And the rocket comes flying. You see, almost everything I did there was just add things that was missing in the sort of spline evaluation blah 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 code. The actual thing I want to do here, which is just make sure this thing flies here and sends an event and then I can go up. That stuff is doesn't take much time. Yeah. And it's always a bit... I think I'm a bit, in this game, when you're making a small game, sometimes you can get away with like maybe you're having everything like very small levels, or maybe just importing your levels from a third-party level editor. Maybe some games all you need to do is place entities and then they run around and shoot each other and whatever you do in your game. But I have this... I guess I have this game where I am writing some stuff in code, and then I have some stuff in the editor, and I'm trying to balance it a bit, and that makes it so that it results in it being, how to say, sometimes a bit more cumbersome to do things, because you must, in order to add something new to the game, you sometimes both do some stuff in the editor and then do some stuff in the game code and blah 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 blah. And fixing all those editor things takes some time. And that's super important, especially if you're working on a team with several people, like exposing things to designers and stuff. But for me, I'm actually making things take a bit longer to make just because I sort of making things so you can edit them from the editor as well. But the game I've built also almost requires it, because it's very often I'm like, oh, you just put a spline here and then make the spline use this entity and like fly here and blah blah blah. So I think my game is not the easiest to make when you're making it all alone, I guess, in some sense, because you need to both do lots of like programming all the systems while also hooking a lot of things up in the editor, and it can sometimes be a bit like a lot of work to get things working, is what I'm trying to say. But maybe I've just done things in a stupid way. Okay, what we're doing now is we have this cat enter rocket event. And that's what's fired at the end of this one. You say, it says sure, jump in, and that's when you're talking to the thing. And then it sends the cat enter rocket event. This is the old event I used from the first level when you go into it. And it's hard-coded to... it's hard-coded to... put the rocket into the state where it can fly away and go to the next level. So I need something to make... This is what this event does. This event is also implemented in a bit of a stupid way. It should just do like this instead. Fetch the rocket. This is my general list. It was like put into the rocket update function, but I think it should be here instead. Like that. Like that. Yeah, so that still works. That's good. Okay, now you must just make... So the problem now is you go into this one and then it plays this cutscene that is meant to be at the beginning of this level. Yeah, now this... It's very interesting, this bug where things just disappear. So I had it on the previous stream as well. And now it seems to happen when I load a level from within that level itself. Oh wait, does it just... See, these two guys come from here. This one comes from over here. this one is probably from here, and this one is... I think I'm gonna have to try to fix this bug, because I've never seen it break this much. So what's essentially happening here is that we have tiles that lose, we can look at a diff. Git diff. We can go here and we can see that there are a bunch of tiles that have just lost some information. This one has lost the X, the layer in this one is lost, the Y on this one is lost, the X on this one is lost. Then I put out a bunch of new tiles, but that doesn't matter. I've seen this happen without me touching any of the tiles. The only thing that's happened is that I've lost some data on some of the tiles, and it seems like it can be... Looking at it now, it's always the third. It's always the third number. Look, because in this one, X is the third one. Okay, that sphere didn't hold up long because this is the fourth number. I thought it was like, maybe it's like some memory that this... Okay, I need to try to fix this. How will I catch this bug? And I need to reproduce it nicely somehow. Something is poking in memory, it shouldn't. Oh gosh. And I wonder if this happens during serialization, or if it's a random memory thing, or if it happens during deserialization. That's also a question, like when does it happen? If it's during serialization, then that's... It's just so random. Like if I just save a million times... I'm just trying to save a million times now to see if it ever happens when I save. No, so I go to the dialogue editor. I also had an idea if it has anything to do with that there is something in the dialogue editor causing it. We save from here and we save from here. No. Okay. Happens. Why is git diff stuck? Control C doesn't work. Q doesn't work. That's interesting. Yeah, so these are changes I have not done. And this just happens a bit randomly, so I've never been able to catch a good repro case for it. So that's why I'm trying to provoke it a bit now. Now I'm just hitting F2 back and forth. That doesn't seem to do anything. We can restart the level over and over and over and over and over to see if it's a deserialization bug. No, okay. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah, so the chat said, please make it 3D using raycasting. Yeah, I think that's a decision you do. I think that's a decision you do in the beginning. Like the first thing you decide, is it a 3D game or whatever? What are you doing? And then you have to start building it like that. You don't just take a 2D game and suddenly make it 3D, because that usually changes the whole design of the game and almost all the code in it. But I guess raycasting is cool. You're doing that. But I don't know. I'm not much of a. I don't like modern rendering technology too much. I mean, I've tried to learn. Like, I've made a 3D PBR renderer sometime, and that sucked. I mean, my render sucked. It didn't suck to make. It was quite fun. But I've always come to that's fun if you're doing like a big project with a big team or something. But if you're making something yourself, then I guess it's more fun to focus on the creative stuff for me. So, make simple 2D art, or if you're using 3D, do something stylized and simple, and that will means just using like standard meshes and ordinary rendering, because I don't enjoy doing fancy rendering techniques too much. It's almost more fun to make like you use simple. I look at games like Havoc. I like one game I really like is A Short Hike. This game. It uses very simple 3D models, and then they have this pixelization filter on top of it, and lots of post-processing, like this, like outline shaders and stuff in some cases. And it's made it possible for one person to program and make all the graphics themselves, because it's heavily stylized but doesn't use any really fancy rendering. It's just very nicely put together creatively. Well, it does use some fancy shaders and stuff. You see there's like fog here, and there's like outline shaders and fog. I think Adam, who has made this game, did a talk on making how to make the game, and then there was also about the graphic style with he shows how the game looks without the fog and everything. So it's quite. I like these kind of styles a lot. If I were to make a 3D game, because it's doable with a small team. Yeah, A Short Hike inspired a lot of developers. I agree. It strikes a perfect balance between like what a small team or maybe a one-person team can do, and using technology to, I don't know, to kind of accelerate you without getting lost in details of, like, it just looks very nice without being like, you know, doing any too fancy things. It's just very smart art direction essentially, and some smart tech art, and then some simple 3D models, and you all put it together and it looks fantastic. It's quite a nice thing. You do try to do simple graphics, and then you can use also some post-processing to sort of blend it together a bit to make it all nice. So if you do like solo development, maybe it's a good idea to learn to do some shaders and stuff, because if you have simple art but want to make it look a bit more unique, you can put on some post-processing. Nothing too crazy, but you can just toy around with that, and then you can make your game look a lot more interesting than like default meshes that are default lit and stuff. Anyways, I'm looking at this bug. I have a bug here where things are teleporting around. This one was from here. This one was from there. This one was from there. They've lost like the X or Y component. This one has lost its X component. No, Y component, I mean. These have lost their X component. It's been zeroed out. And I've come to this. This is the... Before I've had like 1 or 2 tiles teleport around. But now it's like 5 or 6 tiles. So I'm like, oh, I have to fix this actually. It's so annoying to debug. So right now I'm trying to provoke. I was like going to the editor, saving 1,000 times, and then going in and out of the editor by like flickering like this, and then restarting the game a lot of times. And then I'm just trying to provoke the game in any way I can. But I think it's more related to there is some workflow in the game. There's some workflow somewhere that messes up memory, and I don't know where it is. It might be that when I do stuff in the dialogue editor, maybe it's when I write things in the dialogue editor here, and it touches some memory, and then it goes and touches one of the tiles somewhere, but it's always that it zeroes it out. So yeah. So I am thinking what to kind of want to fix this now. I'm really trying to think if what could cause this. Let's look around. Usually with these kind of bugs, you would need like you need a repro case, and then maybe you need like a memory breakpoint or something, and then sort of see, okay, now the memory was overwritten, and then you I'm looking at my let me know if the video is, my YouTube thingy here says that it is receiving it's not enough video material at the even speed, it says. Interesting. Garib asks if I have worked with machine learning in games. No, but I guess it depends on... no, I haven't, but also it depends on what you mean. Like if developing using that, or having inside the game like AI that uses machine learning. There's lots of fun videos on the internet of people like make a little car game and then they let an AI over time learn and figure out how to play the game and stuff. But I haven't done stuff like that. But the only sort of machine learning thing I've done is I use this Python thingy that can use make a neural network thingy, and I wrote with my own handwriting by hand a number on piece of paper, and then I cut it out into small pieces, and I took photographs of it, and then I shrunk them down so they were all the same size. So it was like, I don't know, like 128 by 128 pixel photographs in black and white or in grayscale of my handwritten numbers 0 to 10 or something, no, 0 to 9. And then I ran that through this. I had this Python program using scikit-learn or whatever it's called, which is a machine learning library. And then I gave it half the set. I trained it and said, this first half, I'm going to tell you, this is a 0, this is a 1, blah, blah, blah. So it had like, I don't know, 200 numbers. And then after that, I could ask it, like I could send it a picture, like what is this? And then it, with quite high certainty, could recognize my handwriting already. Quite fun. Yeah, YouTube keeps saying that it's not receiving enough video material. I don't know about that. However, how am I gonna fix this? This bug. Need to figure out a way to trap it. So this tile is over here, and this tile from here is over here, and it is just teleported there. Teleported by losing its X components like this. So something is touching memory when it shouldn't. I do wonder when it happens. Let's do like this. Let's discard those errors. And then I'm gonna try to provoke the game. I'm gonna let's see here. This one, revert, this one, revert, this one, revert, that one, revert. Okay. Now we can reset this and we can see that. Very nice. This one I think is not an error. I just accidentally placed a piece out here, so we can move that. So now these are back where they should be. So what we do now, I'm gonna try to provoke out this bug somehow. We will see how it goes. Git status. Well, this is fine to commit. Okay, and now we're gonna try to somehow provoke a tile to magically lose some data. First I'm gonna use undo redo a lot like this. Save. No change. Go in and out of the editor a lot. I mean, I should essentially see if this happens. Restart, go back and forth. This is gonna look like crazy, like I'm just... The game is just blinking, but that's the whole point. Because I'm just... trying to do stuff. Okay, let's go back and forth to the dialogue editor. Okay. The changes in the dialogue editor. Nothing. Move that number again. Save. No changes anymore. Paint a bit. Paint straight over. Save. No changes. Nothing. So now I'm just looking for mysterious tiles that seem to have teleported. Nothing. By wiggling an object forever. This will give an... Yeah, just moved an object. Save again and then it's gone. Okay. Like this. Oh, whatever. Okay. Try going into here and adding lots of nodes everywhere. Saving. Hit status. Nothing. Undo all those. I'm really just trying to provoke the game into getting this error. Huh? Maybe I placed that. Yeah, I think I did. That's not the bug. Oh wait, this. I think it's that bug. It can be a bit different things. Either something loses its tile index, or it loses its like X value, or its Y. It's like it's just one of these gets zeroed, essentially. Okay, so what did I do there? Interesting. Oh, now there's two. Something else has shifted. That one has just lost a layer, so we might not see that. It's starting to get interesting. Oh! I saw that one move. This is like Ghostbusters Game Dev Edition. Please let me find this bug. Because I don't have that many bugs in the game, like, but this is the one that's like been I've kept seeing, and I've seen it on previous streams, and I'm like, what is going on? So that one just, this one lost its white. It was down here, I think, and it jumped up here. Very interesting. And let's see. Oh, there's something moved again. This one just moved from... Where you get from? Is that the origin here, maybe? Save it. Ah, need to undo all these guys. You see it... I'm just gonna click in one point and see if... Another tile. How fast can I click? I hit the boom arm. Boom, 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 boom. There, the whole ladder disappeared. Oh, something is so broken. You know what I think it is? It's something with the undo redo. It's not. Okay. Let's just... Yep. You see. Fascinating. Let's make lots of little guys over here. And then we undo. And now you see here, suddenly when I undo to this step, this one moves over here. The undo redo is implemented by serializing the whole world and putting it into a stack and then deserializing those. But it's very nice to know that it's to do so. It might still be the serialization that's broken. It might be two things here. It can be the serialization is broken. It can be that the serialization is broken, or that when it deserializes it, or when the undo somehow processes it, it breaks. So we just have to see. Error do do da dee da da dee da da. Yeah. So when I here is the record undo. So I have a video about this whole thing on my channel about how I do undo, and it's similar to what the Voxagon games that does the teardown stuff do. They talk about, okay, teardown is a fairly complicated game, but in his previous games he has just done like undo by serializing the whole world and putting it on a stack, and then when you want to undo, you just deserialize the whole world again. But anyways, there are many points of failure along this. So possible points of failure. Because it does a couple of different things. What does this one do? Why does it clone the tiles? This is not related to the problem. But I'm just like, can't it just do this? Why does it make a temporary clone of all the tiles? Because it's just gonna serialize them out. I mean, that's not gonna matter. I'm just gonna check so you get a bug sometimes. Yeah, that's... Oh, wait. Sometimes you see something blinking up here, but that's actually not the bug. That's just that these are sort of Z fighting because they're both on layer 0. I want to see a tile move. Now it's no longer happening. Let me go in and out of. So for those who wondering what the hell is he doing, I'm trying to provoke this bug where tiles suddenly randomly move, and I've come to the initial conclusion that it's related to my undo redo. That is when I've done stuff and then undone stuff. Sometimes somewhere else in the world stuff changes, which is why it's easy to reproduce with undo. So I can just click around and then undo back and forth. But you know what? It doesn't seem to happen now. And the only thing I changed was before this, it made a level by cloning all the tiles in the world. This. I'm just gonna go back to this old code. Let's undo a lot here. Let me reset my undo stack by going in and out of the editor. Okay, so it's not happening anymore now just because maybe it's related to... I'm gonna do this. I saved that. Go here, get deep. We check out house.level. Thank you, Shady Esther. So for those wondering what the hell I'm doing, I am just trying to provoke a bug where tiles randomly teleport. And it did happen when I was undo redoing a lot just now. But now it doesn't happen anymore. What the hell? But it just didn't seem to be related to the undo redo itself. It seemed like the state it had serialized down for the undo step was a bit sad. But now it doesn't seem to happen anymore. Is relating to me having been like in another edge, because I was poking around a bit in here. Blah blah blah. We go back to here. Click click click. Oh, crash also. Okay, let's get a debugger in here. Try to catch that. This level here. Let's now have a debugger attached. So if we get a crash, at least maybe. So this is just detective work right now. So the crash was interesting. It happened almost straight after I went into the dialogue editor, picked one of these. I just moved it a bit, I think. Went back here and did some stuff. Then try to undo that, because this also has undo, right? So I can go here, click around, go to the dialogue editor, move that, go back here, click around. Hello. Place tiles. When is the bug gonna happen again? It happened all the time just before it's happening all the time. Then I went in here and I just tried changing this line so it didn't clone it, because it doesn't need to do that. After doing that, it no longer happens. So the first thing to find a bug is a good repro case. And I thought I was getting closer to a good repro case. But now it no longer works. Oh, there we have one. This one just did something. Did something. See how here you have tile that got I think it no, okay. It was just the said fighting again. I thought there was something. What could it be? Paint. I hope someone just joins the stream and is like, what is he doing? This is level design. No, I'm trying to provoke a bug. It's no longer happening. At least I have the have the debugger attached now because I have a crash as well. When I was like, went between editors, did some undo, which could be sometimes, you know, when you have a memory overwrite bug, which is that your program is just poking into memory in a random place where it shouldn't be. Because it has maybe a bad pointer somewhere doing something bad. Sometimes those bugs will cause bad data and sometimes they will crash. So if I see a crash related to when I'm doing this, then it might also be that actually it's the same bug. But move things around a bit. This requires patience. But nothing bad seems to be happening anymore. I guess I just ran out of patience. No, but I'm trying to place entities instead. I saw it happening all the time just before. And now it never happens again. So sad. So sad. Well, I guess this is how my level looks now. I want the crash. That's not often you say that. I want... Oh, there we go. There's a crash. Okay. Access violation. Reading location. This thing is... Okay, I was choosing something in the... Okay. I think I know what this crash might be. Need to go down to the bottom here. This is my dialogue editor. And this one, how does it know which graph to currently edit? In Visual Studio have there's no syntax highlighting, no nothing in Visual Studio. Oh yeah, so it comes from here. Just trying to go over all the nodes. I mean, there might be I've always thought that maybe the culprit of these bugs is something in a dialog editor, because dialog editor touches a lot of memory. It's like making strings, freeing strings, and like it's doing a lot. So this crash here is just that S, which is a string, it tries to, what is text here? And then, so this stream has just become bug hunting now. This is my EM-GUI code. There might be a bug in here that has quite severe side effects. It might be something that it... So, when a string field, it has a buffer of, and then if it just checks, is the active ID, is it this one? And then it uses that data. It might be that it accidentally is active and then uses the wrong data for the wrong thing, and it all goes crazy. That might be why. So let's see here now. Yeah, I think I might have had some connection issues the last 20 minutes or so. I don't know. YouTube has been telling me, yeah, you're too low. You're not sending enough data. And then, yeah, I don't know. Okay. So maybe, just maybe, the whole bug is a bad EM-GUI code that does stupid things with strings. Let me look at my UI code. This code will do be like delete UI.active buffer. Okay. So for those who have no idea what I'm doing, I'm trying to track down a bug where data is randomly becoming 0, and I have some problems in my EM-GUI code where it accidentally thinks that the control is active, and if that control does string manipulation, then bad things can happen, because it might think that data has changed and try to like write over a string in memory where there's no longer a string or something. We will see. I'm just trying to think a bit what could possibly be wrong here. The annoying thing right now is that I still don't have a really good repro. So I want to easily be able to check, did my fix the thing? Right. But currently I don't know that. Yeah, now I've seen this. I can close Visual Studio here. We can open it again and we can try to at least get that same crash bug again. That's not. Aha. Wait, what is it? Failed to load game API. Okay, what? Huh? This one works. Ah, it was probably it's a compile it in between. Yes, we're here. If I go here, click in this field, click like this and go none. No? Okay. No? Okay. Yeah, here we see, here is one of the bugs. Here is one of the bugs. So I can do like this, and then I go to this one, and then suddenly you see some text appear there. And that's one of my bad data corruption bugs in the dialog editor, which I've now found. That's very good. Here we go. I think it's... It doesn't want to crash though. Seems like. But now at least I have a very easy way to find that bug. Let's try to like... This one is dialog. Well, I think this is the second node. So let's go here. I think this is also the second node. With E in it. Then we go to this one. No? Okay. Where does it... Interesting. Go back to this one. So I'm trying to see if some of these nodes magically suddenly change the text. I know this is might not be the same bug, but No, it doesn't seem to happen. Okay, let me try this. Who boy? Hmm. Very interesting how it doesn't happen now. Hmm. This one seems to have lost its text. Mystery. Hmm. This one has gone here now. Yep. Go to none, then go back. Okay, I think I know what's happening here. What's happening is that this thing up here is active. It's the active UI item. Then I go here, and then I go back, and not only this is marked, but what has happened here is that the UI ID has shifted. Like, where does it start counting UI IDs from? It's shifted. So then suddenly this one is active because I think this menu was active. And then that was closed. And then I started drawing all these things. Because I can just, anytime I go into this one is always active. Something along that makes that bug at least. And I think that bug can cause some funny things with string manipulation. I don't think it will cause the tile bug I saw, but these are the two main bugs I've seen in the game. So I'm just happy to fix them. Okay, so we have that. How do we... That's in the dialog editor. No, it's actually not. Here's the drop down menu. Blah blah blah. This is the drop down code. This one always makes an ID for the whole drop down, so that will always be there. And what happens then? Let's see here. Let us see here. So this is the UI ID. So UI IDs are, as it just draws the whole editor, it just makes UI IDs over time for the frame. And what I'm trying to be careful with is have things shift around, because then suddenly, like, if one thing is active and then another UI element is inserted before it, then which object is active might shift. I should probably have some mechanism to go get around that. And I should, this is also a problem because I've rolled my own EMGUI solution that is a bit buggy. But I'm too far down, too deep into using it. So let's see. So one thing immediately I can see is that this thing here it chooses a value. Then it could say stopping active and then stopping debugger. I can't recompile when the debugger is attached, so I just kicked it out. But now I have my nice repro case, I think, here. So whenever I go into this one, yeah, it's no longer slave. I think that was the whole. So even if I type some stuff up here, go to this one, go back, then this one hasn't magically gotten that data because now it resets. It sets active equals 0 here. Otherwise, because let's see here. Can you imagine what happens here? Is when I'm in, for example, this none, this one is empty. There's no nodes drawn. Then the nodes don't allocate any UI IDs. But this one does, and then suddenly this becomes active. Now it's active, so the UI ID if this is set in active, and then it goes to this one. and it didn't unset active. This active was still not 0. And then, so then when suddenly the next frame, this whole dialog editor started drawing lots of nodes, then the ID range has gotten, you know, shifted a bit. So the IDs now, the ID that this one used ended up being used by this node down here, and it was active. And then that node was like, oh, I'm active. And then I'm going to assume also that this data that I need for my string is initialized, because that's what string fields assume, that if the string field is active, then it will assume that it has some data in the active buffer on the UI. Yeah, I don't think I've implemented the best immediate QE system, especially the IDs. The IDs should maybe be a bit more prevent this shifting of IDs when something new is rendered before something else. That, and also maybe whenever you have active data like this, maybe that data should be tagged up with which, like, at least which kind of UI thingy is trying to use it, because then this wouldn't have happened also if it was like, this was a drop down and this is a text field. It would mitigate it. But that fixes that bug, which has caused me data loss in dialogue sometimes. But the big question is, if I go to the other level here, where I've drawn pretty things out here. Oh, tiles. Oh, immediately something happened. Yeah, there you go. Tile floating in the air. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh boy. See how everything is going crazy over here. Okay, that's interesting. Now I have a super good repro case. So I wonder if the repro case gets better by having BND program running for a long time, if it's because I was in the dialog editor doing many things and then going back here. Because, I mean, this is not just tiles, it's just, you see, it's the whole entities here going crazy. Very interesting. Yeah, you should have things jumping around. Interesting. Okay. But I'm a few steps closer to tracking this down. Now I'm just wondering. Now I'm wondering, when does it happen? Is it if I go out and in of the editor again? It still happens easily. Okay, if I go to another level, This level is almost, this one is almost empty. Still happens. Which is very good because it's a smaller level, so I can more easily see look at the data and see if this tile just moved. Okay. What to do now? Now I must know when does it happen. So I have my save function, not save, but record undo. I am pretty sure this is during record undo because it is like this thing, this error happens each time I undo this. So it's not a problem with deserial. It's not something random happening when you deserialize the data. It's something bad happening when it's saving it down. Hello, half-ender16, who is asking what language I'm using for the code. It's Odin programming language. You can use Google Odin lang. But like that. If you Google that, not like spelled like that. If you Google that, you'll find it. It's like a programming language similar to C, but modern. So it you don't get annoyed at things as often as you do in C. It's nice for making games because it's high performance while also being like having lots of things that make it feel a bit high level, like languages like high level languages like Python and C# and stuff have lots of fancy sugar in the language, and this language also has that, but it's still low level, so it's fast and snappy, and you have control. Yeah. But yeah, now I at least have a way to reproduce this bug, kinda, because the repro case didn't start happening until after a certain point. So maybe what I need to do is either I need to figure out when, like what makes the repro